In today's video, we are going to talk about holidays and Christmas, how to survive your family and how to cope with the rising anxiety. My name is Daria. Welcome to my online meditation school where I teach you how to live happier and more purposeful life. If you like my videos, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I post videos every Wednesday and they may change your life. So now let's get into the video. I got inspired to do this video for two reasons. One reason is that my recent interactions with clients and people around me are very one-folded. There is a very increased level of anxiety amongst people before Christmas. And this may be caused by a lot of things, but predominantly because of the need to go home and deal with a bunch of relatives and family dynamics that have been there for a while, and from the definition for that person it's unpleasant. And number two, all the anxiety surrounding buying presents and like dealing with last minute things in life and dealing with things that we haven't dealt so far. So I wanted to address and give you 3 tips how to survive Christmas anxiety and go through this time without burning out and without going on anti-anxiety medication. So first I would like to quickly talk about what is actually causing this Christmas anxiety. And what I've noticed in my sessions that I do with clients, there are 2 things which are directly linked to this increased anxiety when we have to face our family dynamics. So usually people who are very much aware of their Christmas anxiety and how it raises are empathic people, or they are people pleasers, or they seek external validation in the family dynamics. And that's interesting because they are thinking already about going home and sustaining all the same comments of the relatives that have been there for years, and they are preparing themselves to answer lots of questions and be challenged on how they're living their lives. Very often as well, in recent times, I've been dealing with a lot of LGBT clients who have not been fully accepted or not accepted at all into their families, and it's a very traumatic experience for them to go back and to have to face those dynamics again and have to revisit all those relatives who clearly, let's say, do not tolerate and do not accept the way they are. So that's number one reason, that as empathic people we always want to please others and we are always so keen to answer everybody's questions, and we feel obliged to provide explanation how we want to live our lives. And reason number 2 why it's causing so much of an anxiety in people is that usually the trauma that they are facing has been created in that home to which they have to go back right now, and in this family dynamics. Because all inter-family connections and the ways we attach to people and other forms of on how we perceive love and how we accept love and how we give love have been created in our homes. And usually when there is a distortion in how we are being loved, it's because of the family of origin, and that creates trauma. And I talk about that in my other videos, how trauma is not really only something that sits in your conscious mind. It not only sits in your subconscious mind, which means it's impossible to change it just by logically thinking about it, but in addition, and that's also very well known among soldiers and other people like that, trauma is really stored in our body, in cells, in tissues, in specific parts of our body. So when this trauma has been created, there is usually an energy block created in certain parts of our body. So every time when we go to the family of origins where the trauma has been created, we revisit the origins of that trauma and that trauma. And that's like a double trauma and settling the trauma even more. So hear me out now, because I'm going to give you 3 tips how to survive Christmas and family holidays. Number one, I would say do not lie to yourself and do not expect that people and dynamics in your family changed. It's actually very interesting because the families usually, especially with those who do not accept the paths that their family members took or the identity that the family members took, the families are also expecting you to come back home for Christmas and say, hey, I changed, I'm gonna be the way you want me to be. I'm gonna be normal, I'm gonna be as you expect me to be. So they expect you to change back to their way, and you expect them to finally change and fully accept the way you are. And it's better to just not have this expectation. And for that matter, I would also say that it's better to just adjust the time you want to spend there to the minimum necessary. I see people booking their holidays for a very long time, and that's just absolutely unnecessary. It's just going to cause you more anxiety before going there, that you have to spend so much time there. So that's my tip number one. Do not expect people to change, and also adjust your timing. Number two would be try to find a spot when you are back there to actually keep on with your meditation practice and with your breathing technique practice. So something that is bringing you the relief and is calming you down every day when you are working on yourself is going to also help you when you are back home. And usually when we go back to the family of origins and we meet all those relatives that usually are not that awakened, or they do not have a proper practice to manage their energy and vibration, we would basically fall back into the old patterns and we would adjust to the lower frequency. And actually what we want to do the opposite. So you don't have to be very open about that. If they are not very accepting, you can just say, I'm going to have a nap or something, and you just pull off your hypnosis app or meditation app or some soft music into your earbuds, and you're just going to try to meditate for half an hour, 1 hour, however long you may have. You may also consider going for a power walk, or you may also consider going to jog a little bit in the park, and really spread that time between your interaction with family into self-care practices that are going to help you to sustain this time and stay in as high energy and vibration as you may have. And my suggestion number 3 would be to simply try something new with your family. If you normally just stay at home, and let's say you just stay at home and keep on talking and you just don't even leave the house, maybe try to go for a family walk, or go ice skating, or go and visit another relative that you don't normally visit, or go for a Christmas concert, or anything of that kind. This is going to help to break the initial pattern that family has. And it's obviously not going to do it entirely, but it's going to start the process. And if you combine that with meditation practice, and if you combine that with low expectation and not such a long time period that you have to spend there, you're going to be able to see that the anxiety that you have about this event is going to decrease significantly. And that's very important, because actually everything that is happening around you is the reflection of what you have here and here. And if your expectation about what's going to happen during Christmas is that it's going to be a mess, it's going to be stressful, it's going to put you on the exposure pedestal, and it's going to be very difficult for you, guess what? That's exactly how this experience is going to turn out to be for you. And that's something we don't want. You know, the research says that 16% of British people would rather do a tax return than go and meet their family on Christmas. And for 26% is more stressful than the job interview. And that's, at the end of the day, really sitting in your head, and in this very stressful environment that we all live in, and that is not only about work, but even the trauma that we store in the body has been caused by a lot of stressful events, even the foods we are eating and so on. And this accumulated stress is really contributing to the level of anxiety that society is currently experiencing. And I truly see that in my office all the time. People come freaking out about everything at the moment. So try to decrease the level of anxiety, because that is going to help you cope with other areas of your life. Do not create such a monster out of this Christmas, because it's just, at the end of the day, a 2-day family gathering, and you can totally survive it and thrive through it just by doing the 3 things I suggested in this video. I hope this was helpful and insightful. If you like it, leave me a comment and give me a thumbs up. I really want to hear from you. If you're scared to go for the Christmas, if you're scared to meet your family, or if you feel very comfortable and happy to do it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to receive more content from me. I hope that this Christmas and family gatherings is going to be very peaceful for you. And I see you next time. For now, blessings.